Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your June 2022 general reading. We're looking at the first half of June from the 1st to the 15th, and this reading is for the water sign of Cancer. Welcome everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks for taking the time to watch this and any of the videos on my YouTube channel. Same with your likes, shares, subscribes, feedback. Those of you who reach out for personal readings, always quite grateful for it. So Cancer, this reading is for you for the first half of June 2022. That's if your Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus sign is in Cancer. It's also relevant if you're cross-watching for a Cancerian. It is a general reading, so of course it'll resonate a little differently for everyone. So if you know all of your signs, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, watch them all because each one can bring in a little additional insight and perspective. And if you find that something does resonate with you enough that you'd like to reach out for a personal reading, perhaps take a deeper look at something for yourself or as a gift for someone else, personal readings do make great gifts. Please feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. You can also get that contact info by clicking the description link. I'd be delighted to hear from you, and I can usually respond the same day with more information. I do offer a wide variety of readings, and I'm pretty timely about scheduling, so if you're interested, email me. Okay, Cancer, let's see what the first half of June looks like for you. I am using the Tarot of Dreams, clarifying with the Gilded Tarot. We begin with the Knight of Coins or Pentacles, the Knight of Earth. Knights often represent offers or opportunities for change and the speed at which situations move. The Knight of Coins is the Knight of Earth. He's a little slower than his other brother knights because he's cautious, security-oriented, detail-oriented, my steady Eddie. Could represent a concrete or practical offer like job or projects. With the Ten of Wands, tens do represent cycle endings, cycle coming full circle. The Ten of Wands is a heavy burden coming to an end because you can't carry it anymore, possibly feeling a bit overwhelmed. This is the end of it. Next, we have the Six of Coins, gift giving, gift receiving, the sharing of gifts. Sometimes it can represent stinginess or breadcrumbing, only giving a little bit when you could give a lot more. It depends on what's with it. With the Six of Cups, a card commonly associated with the past, reminiscence, nostalgia, roots of origin, family, childhood. Something, people, places, or situations you have a history with, whether it's from childhood or just a fair amount of history. It can also represent looking at something through rose-colored glasses, as we often do when we're children. Sometimes it is a secondary soulmate card. The Six of Coins and the Six of Cups together would likely represent an exchange of things between friends, people who care about each other, people you have a history with. Could also represent that someone or a situation that you have a history with. Maybe that history is breadcrumbing, not giving enough. We'll see when it comes time to clarify. Next, we have the Four of Cups, a card that can represent an offer being made, but not being taken up on just yet, taking a step back to contemplate and reflect before making a decision to take the offer or accept the offer. With the Seven of Wands, defensive energy, protective, guarding energy, typically represents standing up for something you believe in, something you have a lot invested in, being challenged perhaps in a way. Can represent towing the line, not giving in. Protecting your space, protecting your need for privacy or reflection and contemplation, especially if you're being pressured to make a decision about something. From the bottom of the deck, representing overall energy for the first half of June, is the Page of Wands, the Page of Fire. It can represent newly developed ideas, conversations, inspiration, feeling a bit restless, feeling like perhaps you're on the verge of starting something new, haven't quite started yet, but maybe talking about it, thinking about it, being inspired by it, at the beginning of a new path. Feeling restless maybe and wanting something new, or considering new projects or new directions for yourself. You may be, some of you with this Knight of Coins and the Ten of Wands, have just grown really frustrated with something that you've been involved in or with for quite some time. Maybe the slowness at which it's moving, or the immovability of it's just not enough or not fast enough, it's not giving you what you want. And you may be considering, it feels transitional. It feels like you're going through some kind of transition where you're feeling like you've outgrown something that you've been involved in or waiting on, and you've got some new ideas, new inspirations, maybe things you're thinking about doing, but you haven't quite begun to manifest yet. Let's clarify. Let's clarify the overall focus of that Page of Wands. The page of inspiration, new ideas. The Knight of Wands, the Knight of Fire. The Three of Pentacles, teamwork, collaboration, a project. The Two of Pentacles, making a decision as to which way to go to start this, or to begin to manifest it. Working with other people, trying to make a decision on working with other people to move forward with something. It may be that you're also at the introductory start of a new path of learning and growing and forming new ideas, trying to figure out what to do with those things and what direction to take them in, perhaps in a joint project with other people, but still kind of in that beginning deciding phase. I mean, we've got two knights, Knight of Fire, Knight of Coins. A practical project, or a project that has some kind of concrete or practical logical aspects of it, but it's really kind of inspiring. Let's clarify that Knight of Coins, the practical knight, the earthly knight. The Knight of Swords. So we have three knights. The only one missing is the Knight of Cups. Knight of Swords, information, conversations, talking about what to manifest next, talking about how to move forward. The Page of Wands again. It's like you're learning something new, thinking about learning something new, and it's like, what I'm inspired by this. I'm excited by this. It's something new because I feel kind of stagnant in the rest of my life, but what am I going to do with this? Like, what direction do I take this in? The Wheel of Fortune, divine timing and orchestration, a stroke of good luck, God's fingerprints being all over something. I feel like Spirit, God's Spirit, angels, and guides are helping you in this transitional process of taking yourself out of what may have been a path that was rather stagnant. Let's clarify that Ten of Wands, and maybe one that you've gotten, maybe were frustrated with being involved in, or it just wasn't moving fast enough or moving at all, and you're just like, with the Ten of Wands, yeah, it's time for something new, something different, but I don't know what. Let's clarify that Ten of Wands. And Spirit is kind of helping you through people, places, situations, inspiration to move into something new. Ten of Wands. The Lovers, relationship at a crossroads, relationship choices. The Emperor, an older person, a father figure, an older individual, maybe somebody quite stubborn. The Ten of Wands again, and the Knight of Pentacles again. It looks like there may be another situation, maybe a relationship here, regardless of the nature of it. It could be love and romance, it could be with a father, it could be with a boss or someone like that. It could be that you're the one just tired of being in charge and making all the decisions, because it feels like this slow, stagnant, stubborn energy. And whether it's with a person, a relationship, a situation of some kind, I get this sort of discontented, restless feeling. Again, it's kind of that transition between knowing that you've outgrown something, but not exactly sure what the next thing is. Maybe you've got some ideas, you're throwing some things around, experimenting. Six of Coins with the Six of Cups. Exchange of gifts, exchange of ideas, gifts, memories. The Hanging Man, waiting, watching something playing out, not taking any decisive action yet. Waiting to see if you're going to be given more than you already have. The Moon, a lack of certainty, not knowing, the path isn't clear, maybe hidden fears coming to the surface. And the Devil, toxic, negative situations or cycles that may have a tempting element in them, but that just keep repeating over and over and over again, because it's a card that represents addictions or obsessions. You know, a negative cycle that just keeps repeating, but there's something in it that you find attractive, because that's how the devil energy entraps and enslaves, through something tempting, something alluring that just becomes unhealthy for us. Waiting to be given more, tired of being breadcrumbed, tired of waiting for more, waiting for better, tired of the uncertainty. For some of you, this might be a kind of a two or threefold thing. Some of you, it might be, you know, central or important. There might be a relationship here which just isn't going anywhere, hasn't really been going anywhere. You keep waiting for something more, to be given something more, or something more equal. But it's just keeps going around and around and around and around and around. Some of you may be involved with an Aries, which is also attached to the sign of that Emperor. Let's clarify the card of the past, the Six of Cups, or the card of history. It may be that you're just going through a transitional period of outgrowing something, tired of waiting on something, relationship, maybe even work or job, or a combination of all of those things, kind of a life change. And you're kind of in that in-between place where there's other opportunities, you're thinking about things. Clarify Six of Cups. Three of Cups, heartache, heartbreak, breakup, separation. With a friend, with a soulmate. The Ten of Pentacles, long-term security and stability, inheritance. Queen of Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, you, or perhaps another water sign. It's kind of like, whether this is a romantic relationship or a different kind of relationship or a work situation or a combination of all of those, it feels like you're like, you know, I've been living on kind of this minimal starvation diet, maybe financially, materially, emotionally, and waiting for something to get better, waiting for the next level, waiting for a bigger payout, you know, whatever that is. But it just never comes. You're given just enough to keep you waiting, right? But that's it. And it feels like that cycle is really trying to close out here, because you've got that, I'm tired of that. I'm feeling restless. What else can I do in this area of my life, or in my life, period? I've got some ideas. I'm thinking about some new things, not quite sure what direction to take them in. Four of Cups, sitting back, thinking about it, thinking about opportunities or a specific offer, taking some time out before you make a decision. Judgment, yeah, an important life-changing decision, crossroads moment. The Five of Pentacles, feeling shut out on the outside, abandoned, rejected, not good enough. Perhaps. The Six of Swords, moving away from the source of the trouble. This is a transitional card. It's a card of healing. So the worst is behind you. You're not quite to the other shore and on solid ground yet, but you're moving towards that. It's a card of healing. I think you're taking a step back to kind of make a decision as to what direction to go with this thing, that maybe it might be better for you to end this cycle where you just are perpetually shut out or feeling perpetually not good enough, or like you don't have enough, or you have to beg for everything that you need or want when you really shouldn't have to. And maybe it's time to move on, even though it may be difficult because there's such an attachment with this person, relationship, situation, job, whatever. There's definitely something you get out of it because the Devil card. But maybe it's time to move on. Clarify the Seven of Wands, defending, protecting. The Two of Cups, soulmate, kindred spirits, best friends. Can be romantic or best friend, kindred spirit, or combination of both. Definitely a karmic connection. The Eight of Swords, feeling trapped, held hostage, even though you're not. Doesn't mean that freeing yourself wouldn't be difficult or painful or challenging. But Swords is governed by the element of air. And air governs our intellectual landscape, what goes on in our heads. Belief systems, ideologies, how we look at things, how we see things, because that affects how we relate and communicate with everything outside of ourselves. So here in the Eight of Swords, she feels trapped, held hostage by maybe one overall idea or a whole bunch of different ideologies or perspectives. But what she doesn't realize is nobody's keeping her there. Nobody's holding her down on her knees. Those chains wrapped around her wrists aren't attached to anything or anyone. She could twist her wrists, those chains could fall up, she could stand up on her own 2 feet, rip the blindfold off, and see that she can, in fact, free herself. Might not be easy, but it's possible. These are our fears, our insecurities, or other people's, negative messages saying, oh, you can't because of this, you can't because of that. You can free yourself. The Ace of Cups, the heart opening up again, new emotional opportunities, self-love, new love and romance. The Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment, abundance, getting what you want. Here we have taking time out to consider that it may just be time for you to move on from something because you're tired of feeling like you have to say, please, may I, for everything that you shouldn't have to do, especially in a relationship, right? You should be able to expect the other person, well, in any relationship with, to be fair and equitable, right? But it's not. You're constantly kind of having to ask or beg or feeling, like you're not entitled, so you always have to go crawling or breadcrumbing or something like that. And maybe it's time to move on because you're not trapped in this situation. It may feel sometimes like you are, perhaps because of the history you have, the emotions you have, but you're not. You can have a new beginning. You can have that abundance, that wish fulfillment, whatever that is for you. So that's where kind of the 2-week time frame sort of ends. Well, not ends, but that's where it is at, like maybe mid-June or so. Just kind of taking a step back to seriously consider that. Or even moving into that. So let's end with some advice and guidance. The World, the last major arcana card in the tarot. This is where the Fool's journey ends. The Fool is us. The Fool is the very first major arcana card, has a 0 on his card. And all the cards after the Fool, which is us, are about our journey through different stages of life, learning, changing, growing, evolving, succeeding, failing, until we get to the end. And the end means a certain chapter or set of chapters that was a pretty important part of our life. But we've learned everything we can because we're graduating now. And we're moving on to a new landscape with new opportunities, a whole new horizon. It's time to move on. The Tower. Unexpected events or just major events. where something comes crashing down to rubble because it needs to. There's a flaw in there somewhere. It's time to let it come down and move forward. Now, when this shows up as advice, it represents letting something end or letting something crumble down because it needs to be completely rebuilt or transformed from the bottom up, or is just time to move on. Let it go. The Nine of Swords, stress, anxiety, worry, fear, insomnia. Typically fear of an unknown future. Worrying about something too much, obsessively focusing on something, and it's almost always the worst possible outcome until it gets built up in your head that it doesn't even match the external reality. It's not that the source of your fears isn't valid, but this is like blowing it way out of proportion. It's not necessary. Temperance, justice. Do the right thing. Do the thing that you know is right and good and true and ethical for yourself. That's where you're going to get your balance. I mean, justice is about doing the right thing, being transparent, honor, ethics, morality, things being fair and equitable and right. And temperance, in a way, is similar because it's about neither too much of one nor too much of the other. It's about being balanced, even with opposite extremes, learning how to shift and adjust, keeping your balance in the middle and not being pulled off one way or the other by your emotions and circumstances you have no control over. It's about staying grounded and in the middle, doing what you know is true, even if it's difficult, even if it's challenging, because on the other side of it, you don't let anybody tell you, oh, it's too late, or oh, you can't, or oh, you can. You can have that new start. You can have what you want, that true abundance. You need to make decisions based on what is right and good and true for yourself, and stop waiting on other people to decide that for you. Okay, Cancer, those are your messages for the first 2 weeks of June. I hope you found them useful, helpful, gave you some food for thought. Again, if any of this resonates with you enough that you would like to take a deeper look at something, reach out for a personal reading for yourself or as a gift for someone else, feel free to email me directly, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. You can see it on the description link. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the June mid-month readings. Stay well, be happy. Hope to see you back again soon. Bye-bye.